Doctor.
It's finally time.
It is time. We've alluded to it for a few times now.
The long-awaited, potentially fabled Garth Brooks episode.
Garth Brooks, serial killer.
I'm gonna make a prediction.
Okay.
That this episode is actually gonna have more views than most of them.
It's kind of weird that those episodes that are like pretty off-hinged, unhinged.
Yeah, it's like when we're beating up on somebody, people want to hear about it, but they don't want to hear about like vampires or fuck anything ghost related or anything like that. They just want to hear us beat up on people.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw a curveball, and I'm not going to beat up too much on Garth Brooks.
Well, how can he? He's such a sweet guy. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Were you a fan of Garth Brooks?
I mean, I was in high school in kind of the height of his fame, junior high school. Maybe more so junior high. I liked some of his songs, like The Thunder Rolls was fucking dope, like, still is a cool song. Did I listen to him a lot? No. I was aware of him and I knew that he was super famous and a really big time country star, but even back then, country was, I think that the lines of like music were a lot more defined, of like country, rap, rock, whereas now it's like most country is like country pop and is played across a lot of different radio stations. Like Taylor Swift, you could probably hear a Taylor Swift song on just about any station.
Yeah.
But back then it was like you're listening to a country station and you get country music and you listen to like 92 U92 or whatever the radio station was. You know, he'll hear like rap and R&B type stuff. So I was, you know, I knew of his music and did like some of his songs, but I wasn't a huge country fan or country music listener.
That's fair. I grew up with him.
Yeah.
Like my parents were big fans, and I think pretty much everybody in my family was. So I grew up with that stuff.
Yeah.
And at the time it was fucking awesome.
I guess mostly I was exposed to Garth Brooks through my dad, who was a big country music fan. He was like 38 Special and kind of like Western rock type music, Charlie Daniels and
maybe even some Skynyrd sprinkles.
Yeah. So like when we go out with my dad or whatever, he'd have like Garth Brooks CDs and I'd skip through them like, why are you listening to this? There's not Snoop Dogg isn't on any of these tracks.
How crazy would that have been in the 90s to have fucking Snoop Dogg do a...
Garth Brooks?
Do like a guest spot, a collab as they call it now.
Dogs in Low Places.
Dogs in Low Places. I mean, I guess that's better than Bodies in Low Places.
Yeah.
I still like Garth Brooks music.
Yeah.
The only gripe I really have about it is that it's not on fucking Spotify. You have to go to YouTube, which is kind of annoying.
Doesn't he have like some deal with one of the... It's like exclusively to one platform or something like that?
I'm not sure what it is, but I think he owns his whole catalog. And I imagine he just wants to be paid 100% royalties on his own music, which I get. But at the same time, you're really kind of limiting your audience.
Well, yeah, you would think. But looking at his whole entire career, which is kind of gives credence to this whole serial killer thing, is that his, like, every step in his career, well, not every step, there are a few missteps, but like it seems like it is very well calculated. Like when he first came out, he wanted to be a rock star. He wanted to be a rock singer. And he was finding more success by playing like honky tonks and stuff like that. And so he started playing more Western style music. He wasn't really into that stuff from his accounts that he got more into it because he was more successful at it.
Well, to credit, he brought that rock star style to country music.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at his older stage shows where he does a lot of wire work and things like that, and he has this huge stage presence. Like, have you ever seen him live?
Mm-mm.
He puts on a great show. He's very energetic. I mean, when I saw him last, I think he was like either 59 or 60 or something like that, and he's still running around like a young guy. Puts on this amazing show, and in the 90s he did these huge extravagant things for his shows. Like, he was a real showman. So he took kind of that Motley Crue rock and roll style and put it into country music.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that was revolutionary. I didn't see it at the time because I was still a kid, but looking back at it, it's like nobody was doing what he was doing, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But he kind of got hated for it too. Like, did you hear about him and Waylon Jennings?
No.
Like, Waylon Jennings fucking hated Garth Brooks. He said, and I quote, "Garth Brooks is to country music what pantyhose are to finger fucking." Which is...
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty eloquent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah, that's a great quote.
But yeah, definitely changed country music as a whole.
Mm.
Now, before we get really into it, I just want to ask you this one question. Do you believe Garth Brooks is a serial killer? You don't have to give me your reasons. We're going to get into it, but I just want to hear a yes or a no.
No.
I'm also going to say no. So, Garth Brooks is a weird guy.
Definitely, he appears to be very socially awkward, which is strange for a... I don't know, I think that a lot of, like, major artists do have kind of this recluse type energy about them. Maybe it's just overstimulation that they just kind of try to keep to themselves. But he seems like he has this image of, like, especially over decades of performing, most people who talk about him in a light of being really super nice and like a really down-to-earth person, like a regular person. So when you see him on like interviews and stuff, he comes off almost like he's acting as this this persona that he's created, the super nice and sweet person. It almost seems forced, a forced perspective.
It is kind of performative in my book, because some people that have worked for him over time say that he's kind of like an Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh.
Like, he's got this great public face, but he's a fucking dick behind closed doors. Which I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand it to a degree. When you're at that level of money and fame and power, you lose grip on reality.
Yeah.
So there's a part of it I understand without condoning it. But yeah, it does seem that sometimes his personality is performative. Like, he's rehearsed this shit in a mirror, and then when he's not on script, that's when he's fucking awkward, because he doesn't know how to talk to people anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to interact with normal human beings, because at this point, he's not a normal human being.
Right.
When you have that level of, like, comfort in your life that you don't have to worry about how your electric bill is going to get paid, or you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to cook dinner. You don't have to do anything. It's all taken care of. You kind of transcend past the point of being a person into being a character.
Yeah, it's almost like once you get to a certain point of wealth where, like, you no longer even have any kind of clue of what, like, the rest of society rotates around, which is, like, money, making money and being able to afford things, and you surpass this thing that you just don't even have a concept of how much gas costs or, like, groceries cost or whatever. So how do you talk to somebody who's, like, say like you, who you say that you grew up on Garth Brooks music, or people who are super fans who have never met the guy, don't know him in real life, but feel like they have this super great connection with him through his music, and it's like these people greet him and are super excited to see him. He might have just like fucking stubbed his toe or something backstage a real person would do, and is pissed off about something and is like, fuck off.
The brie is not room temperature and I'm pissed about it.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that being like people seeing him one way or thinking about him one way and then meeting him and then, or like working for him and saying that he's an asshole.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Golden Globes thing with Ricky Gervais, where he's up on stage and he's telling these celebrities, like, come up here, accept your award, thank your agent, thank your God, and fuck off. You're in no position to lecture the normal person.
Yeah.
You have no idea what it's like.
If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off.
So it's, to me, I put it through that lens of he doesn't know what it's like to be a normal person anymore.
Yeah.
Which is why when you see him on social media, and he's fucking awkward, bud. Awkward as fuck. I want to post cool stuff, neat stuff, fun stuff. And you're just like, are you reading this off a script?
When I think about things I want to post cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff. But most of the stuff I'm going to post is going to be raw stuff like this. Because it's just who I am.
Probably.
But he's just so off-putting, and he does the eye thing. I want to post neat stuff, fun stuff, cool stuff, stuff I like. And you're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So I get it from that perspective. Still fucking awkward, but every like fan that he's met says that he's a super, super nice guy.
Yeah.
But it's performative.
Yeah. And when do you turn that off? And when you do turn that off, what fills that back up? That's the question.
Especially when you already have everything. And I think this is where a lot of the serial killer stuff comes from, is there is kind of a perception that once you have everything and you've conquered all these goals and you've done all this stuff and you have all this wealth and this fame and this power, what's left?
Yeah.
There's no more ladders to climb. The ladders he did try to climb, he couldn't climb because he just wasn't at that level.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you fill that void with? Oh, killing people.
Or create an alter ego.
That he failed at.
And do it again.
So the Chris Gaines thing, I went down the rabbit hole on that because I was trying to understand it from as many different perspectives as I could. And the key thing is, like you said, he wanted to be more of a rock star. And so creating this persona kind of helped fill that void within himself that I wanted to be a rock star. So it's tied to this movie that they were going to make. And then the movie never got made. But he still wrote this album and created this persona because it was going to backfill spaces in the movie. Have you listened to the album?
Mm-mm.
It's fucking terrible. I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah, I told myself, I need to look up that Chris Gaines and listen to it just to get a feel for what we're talking about, but I never actually did. It was just like I'll do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow never came.
'Cause if tomorrow never...
I was going to do that. I was going to just start dropping fucking lyrics all throughout this, and I haven't done one yet. I think you just opened up the floodgate.
Yeah,
that's just shameless of you.
Once you open up the floodgate, fucking thunder just rolls.
And the thunder rolls.
It does. It does. But, as they say, that's the dance.
That is the dance. What's another one? Fucking The Rose. Was there a song called The Rose? Something about a rose. Anyways.
I think you're thinking of Alan Jackson's like Red on a Rose.
Oh.
Anyway, the Chris Gaines thing. So there was do you remember VH1 Behind the Music?
Yeah.
So there was an episode on that. So there's this real life show did an episode on this fake character that he came up with. And I watched that, and it is cringy as fuck. It's so bad.
Didn't he have wasn't he from Australia also?
He was, but in the documentary, he didn't speak with an Australian accent. He spoke like Garth Brooks, just softer voiced. I just couldn't help myself. I just really loved sex. I wanted sex all the time.
He was a sex addict.
Yeah, he was a sex addict.
Yeah.
The term sex addiction didn't exist for me.
And then to watch Garth Brooks with his emo hair and his little soul patch talk about how much he loves sex is unsettling.
Yeah.
You're like, I kind of feel like you should have saved that for the movie.
That should have been a movie thing only. I still have to go back and listen to some of this fucking Chris Gaines work. So what was... You brought it up to me, this theory about Garth Brooks being a serial killer. I'd never heard of it before, and this was like 3 months ago?
Give or take, yeah.
It was right before Halloween, I think, yeah, a couple months ago. And so, yeah, I was like, what? So I went through it, and so how long before that had you heard about that theory?
I heard about it when Tom Segura first started bringing it up, which was about a year ago. Because my sister was telling me about it, and I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here. And so I kind of looked into it, and at the time it was just a Tom Segura bit, basically, that he did on Your Mom's House. And sometimes he would talk about it on Two Bears, One Cave. And going back and watching the clips, it's like, okay, these guys they're just fucking with him, you know, they're just talking shit. But it grew so exponentially, even to the point where it got brought up on the Joe Rogan show. And Joe Rogan was like, shut up, Tom. Garth, just come on the show. You can clear all this shit up. We'll make it happen, you know. Still hasn't. He should.
He should. Again, is he like just so awkward that he can't actually do something like that? Especially a long-form conversation like that.
I think that would give him so much credibility with everything, not just like the Ellen DeGeneres like attitude or him being socially awkward. Like, sit down and have a conversation with the foremost podcast in the world. Yeah. Which it's not at the moment, but it really is.
Yeah.
But sit down and have a real conversation with Joe Rogan and talk to him, and for one, you can get rid of all this serial killer bullshit, but for two, you can show the world that you still are a real person.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's waiting on.
Yeah. You don't have to put on a persona, just be a fucking actual person.
Just be Garth.
Like, have actual normal facial expressions.
Yeah, do something with your eyes to not do this.
Maybe get some Visine and fucking...
Oh, shit, that's all I needed?
Oh, holy fuck, that works.
Oh, I haven't blinked in 9 years.
So yeah, I was really like... totally dismissed it, like when I heard it, oh, that's funny, and then I started looking into it, and there's a lot of weird shit that happens around him that could lead somebody into the thinking that he is capable of doing these things.
There is.
But
to me, so let me get the guy's name. The authors of the book. I have it in my notes here. So the book, Bodies in Low Places, was written by Matthew Cox and Pierre Rasuni. I think that's how you pronounce it. So they took this Tom Segura joke and they started backfilling research by looking at tour dates versus missing persons dates and talking to people and doing interviews and getting all these crime statistics and things like that. And they formulated that Garth Brooks has killed over 200 people. Did you listen to that podcast episode he did?
I listened to, it's like 2-3 hours long or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a pretty long one.
I think I listened to most of it.
So
I don't know if I ever finished it or not.
Listening to that, and I got like 2/3 of the way through his book. And I kept thinking, man, all of this stuff that he's producing and claiming is at best speculative.
Yeah.
There's no basis, there's no grounds. I would be more inclined to believe that it's his roadies killing people than it is him. I think even nowadays, Garth Brooks couldn't walk down the street without being fucking recognized.
Yeah.
So it's, I just can't buy it, man. I just can't buy that Garth Brooks has killed 200 people, especially through the lens the way he puts it, because he speculates or postulates how these things could have happened. Like he goes and borrows a roadie's car and then goes and picks up a random stranger, takes them out to XYZ place and kills them, and then drives back and gives them the car back.
What if it's not Garth Brooks that's killing him, but it's fucking Chris Gaines?
What if it's Chris Gaines killing him?
Ed Gaines' brother, Chris.
The spelling's a little off, but we'll let it go.
It's just a typo.
Yeah, it's just fucking keys, man. That's it.
You put into a book, it's probably true.
What if that's true, and it really is him killing him, but he does it in the persona of Chris Gaines?
Yeah.
He's just like...
And he wouldn't be recognizable. He's like, you look like... You can't be. You've got emo hair and a soul patch, so you're not fucking Garth Brooks.
He's just like, I just really like sex.
Which is funny, like when that whole thing came out, and it was like the album came out, and I didn't even know what it was when it first came out. And I saw the like posters for the album cover, and I was like, is that Garth Brooks? And then like I had to look at the thing to see what was fucking happening, because it was like obviously Garth Brooks with emo hair and a soul patch. So yeah, I don't think that he could be, especially in a. So like most of the evidence is that like
air quotations, yeah, for sure.
He'll go to like have a huge show in an arena in like a major metropolis area, which is where they have fucking major shows like that. They don't do it in the fucking middle of nowhere. He's selling out 50,000 seat arenas for his shows. And so while he's there doing a show, like slightly after, a couple hours later, in that major metropolis area, there's a woman or a person that goes missing and ends up either missing or found dead in the area. And then like, so they've gone around, followed his tour dates, and like can line it up with all these missing persons in those areas at those times, which is circumstantial at best. Like, you probably look at every single day a week before and a week after, and there's a person that goes missing in on those days too. So I mean, really, if you're just cherry picking for evidence, then you're going to find cherries for sure.
Well, I mean, even if you look at it through this lens, like, so I've seen him live twice, downtown at, what is it? I can't think of the arena.
Rice Eccles?
Yeah, Rice Eccles. So I've seen him twice there, and the attendance is fucking maxed out. Mm-hmm. How many of those people that go to that show are from the Salt Lake Valley, and how many of them have traveled? You know, I'm sure there's people who come from Denver, from the South, from fucking Vegas, from wherever, yeah, to come see the show because it's the closest one to them.
Right.
So you're bringing in thousands of transplant people from different cities and different towns. Who's to say it's not just them doing it?
Yeah.
Or maybe there's like a group of super fans who follows him to every venue, but they're the killers.
Yeah.
Could be the roadies.
Could be.
I just think somebody as high profile as him, who has such a large security team, they would notice he was missing for hours on end. and not just chilling out in the dressing room, unless there's a fucking tunnel from the dressing room that leads to the street, in which case
leads to a parking lot where there's a car waiting for him to take to go do his murder.
Yeah, in which case there would have to be so many people in on it that somebody would spill the beans.
Right.
Secrets don't stay secrets.
Yeah, especially with something like that. And I think they would have like snapshots of him fucking carrying a trunk around to his private airplane to fly the body back to his ranch where he buries all these bodies.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
It's too much of a stretch.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean he's not tied to it somehow? I don't think so. But, I mean, the numbers of disappearances are, strangely statistically higher.
Yeah.
But again, that could be the people coming from out of town to see the show. It could be his roadies. It could be, like I said, a group of fans that follow him to every show.
Yeah, I think that the roadies theory would be more of a plausible thing than him like Garth himself doing these things. There's a lot of podcasts and stuff that I've listened to, YouTube channels that cover disappearances and murders, like the Missing 411 and all these different shows. There's one that she talks about serial killers almost exclusively, and like I think I've listened to probably 6 or 7 of these episodes that she's talking about serial killers that nobody really knows about. They're not like high profile like Ted Bundy type cases, but they are serial killers. And there's been at least 6 or 7 that I've listened to that were the serial killers are truck drivers that just like drive around the truck, pick up a hitchhiker, and then like this person goes missing and the last place they were seen was in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden they're just off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
They got picked up by this fucking truck driver and then dumped wherever.
See, and that's part of why I give more credence to the roadies doing it than him, because they're the ones handling all the equipment. They're doing all the transportation. How difficult would it be if it was like 2 or 3 of these guys were all sick fucks and they enjoy killing people, but let's say they have control over the cargo space and the cargo. What if like one of those big fucking amps they have is not an amp at all, it's hollowed out, so that's where they keep the body.
Yeah.
But they're secretly taking him back to Garth's place so that they can bury him and then implicate him later on.
Yeah. I think we're onto something.
They're like, you know what? I'm tired of making shit wages to be a fucking roadie for the last 35 years.
Not only that, like, usually when there's a big show like that, the roadies and all the equipment shows up maybe a day or 2 before the show. They start working, building the stage, building the sets. And then after the show is over, they still have another day worth of tearing everything down and then hauling it off to the next place. So they have more time, where Garth probably like flies in the day of, or like shows up the day of or the night before, and then does a rehearsal with the band, and then fucking does the show, and then fucking bounces to the next one.
Yeah, it's just like when he had a residency in Vegas. He didn't live in Vegas. He just flew out there, did the show, turned around and flew back.
Right.
Which, if you got that kind of fuck you money, I would too.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay in Vegas. That place sucks.
Yeah. Especially if it's like a 2-hour flight to get home, just fucking fly there in the afternoon and then play the show and then fly back there, fly back home.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
If you got your own private jet, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what Leonardo DiCaprio says. Let
the fucking roadies handle all the shit, put the bodies, pack them up, bring them back to the old ranch. To me, that would make a lot more sense, definitely, because not only are they like, they have more time, they're seen moving these big boxes around, and it's normal for them. Oh yeah, they're just fucking offloading equipment, they're loading equipment. Also, they're not going to get recognized by people, but at the same time, they could use that whole thing of like, oh yeah, I work for Garth Brooks. Come on backstage. I'll I'll introduce you.
You want to meet Garth? You want to meet the man?
You have to pay the admission.
Little sloppy toppy.
Yeah. While they're down there fucking getting vecned by your old roadie peen.
Oh God, when did you shower last? I don't know.
Oh, it's been weeks.
Garth doesn't let us have water. It's just, it's too far of a bridge for me to say it's Garth Brooks. Now, there is a faint possibility that maybe the roadies' jobs are to capture these people and then transport them back to his place, and then he kills them there.
Yeah. He has a large underground dungeon underneath his mansion.
But still, it's the Batcave theory, right? So Bruce Wayne has this big elaborate Batcave with a lazy Susan for his fucking Batmobile. He did not build that himself. There was contractors that had to sign NDAs and shit, right? So it's got to be the same for Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
If he has this huge fucking cavern under his house where he keeps all these dead people take up a lot of space. It'd have to be huge, especially for 200 dead people.
Yeah.
Somebody would have to know about it. You would think one person would come out and be like, oh yeah, I ran the excavator to dig that giant fucking hole under his house. But not one.
It's weird. He like made us decorate it like a gothic dungeon, chains on the walls and shit.
Yeah, and
I thought it was a Chris Gaines. He's just
we had to put up all these fucking Chris Gaines posters. Which, by the way, there was a poster for the Chris Gaines thing where he's wearing like tights, like really tight tights, and you could tell he's wearing like a girdle.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
To keep him sucked in, and that's not a flattering look for anybody. Especially with his wig and shit. You're like, you didn't think any of this shit through, did you?
It's all for the movie, baby.
The movie that never got made. It's, oh God. It's, to me, it's so stupid. If you wanted to be a rock star, and then you create this persona to go with this movie, maybe try playing rock music. It's not. It's super, super bad.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking about it, and they were saying it's more like, almost like harder R&B.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, because he sings it in a very, very soft voice, and there's no crescendos to any of the songs. You know, there's no like high point, there's no beat drop, nothing like that. So all the songs kind of sound the same, but he sings them very like softly and not a whole lot of volume to his voice. The instrumentals are kind of flat. So just from a musical standpoint, if you knew nothing about Chris Gaines or Garth Brooks or anything, and somebody just gave you this album to listen to, you'd probably listen to it and go, yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, why are we listening to this shit?
Yeah.
Who is this again? Oh, it's Garth Brooks?
Take that CD out, snap that.
I'll listen to it
fucker.
again. It's Garth Brooks? Weird.
Yeah, it's not good.
I think I'm going to have to listen to it on the way home.
Let me just tell you, if you get 2 or 3 songs in and you go, these 3 songs suck, the rest are the same. I'm sorry to say. Like a very talented musician, that was your F album.
There's no like high point of like, sometimes you find an album where it's like, most of this album sucks, but this song, I like this song.
No. Not one likable track for me. And I'm
definitely going to listen to it.
Maybe have a couple beers while you do it. I'm just saying. I'm one of those people, like, I'll listen to an album front to back. You know, that's the kind of generation we're from. You know, like when you go buy a CD and you pop that fucker in and you listen to it from track 1 to 12 or whatever it is, from start to finish. So I'm still that way. So I did that with that Chris Gaines album, and I'm like, and you know, 55 minutes later or whatever, I was like, wow, I just wasted 55 minutes of my life.
55 minutes and 32 seconds. Gone.
Yeah, I could have watched another video yeah.
So I wonder if, like, maybe this is his decade right now. Chris Gaines is going to come back with fucking vengeance. Like, how right now, like, so many stupid fucking things are coming back from the 90s. Like Jinko jeans and fucking horrible, stupid shit that's just fucking coming back into the public zeitgeist because it was popular at one point in the 90s or whatever. Almost as satire, but people are taking it to extreme. Like,
yeah.
Right now, that seems to be happening for the 90s decade.
I think we're getting into the 90s decade. We're kind of coming out of the 80s decade.
Right.
Because you still see dudes with, like, mustaches and mullets.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you see those people, don't talk to them. They're annoying. No offense. Yeah, a little bit. I think mullets are so stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're kind of getting away from that and getting back into some of that 90s stuff, like you said, with Jinko jeans and things like that. And mark my words, there's going to be a 90s based series that does for the 90s what Stranger Things did for the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's coming soon.
Yeah. We just have to write it yet.
We just haven't written it yet. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to do like a 90s series about Tunguska or something.
Yeah, yeah. So it seems like most of the information about like this whole theory came from Tom Segura, like making fun of it. First of all, that kind of sparked a Reddit thread of people fucking theorizing and making up these hypothetical claims about like dates and disappearances and shit like that. Showing maps of like how missing people and murder rates go up as he moves through the on his tours and stuff, and where he lives, like even the places that he's lived, supposedly disappearances and murder rates have like skyrocketed in the place that at the times and the places that he lives. Again, like we were talking about the roadies, it could be his roadies because they're in and out of the spaces he is around. So but then this guy, what was his name, Matt or Mike or
I got it right here. Matthew Cox and Pierre.
Matt and Pierre decide to write this book about it, and that's where it seems like most of the fuel for this fire is coming from, is like these three main sources of people just kind of perpetuating this thing. But asking for that kind of attention, you have to like turn the lens on the people who are pushing these agendas.
Absolutely.
And that's where things get really dicey if you're believing this theory is true.
That's where the defining thread came for me to say he's not.
Yeah.
So the Tom Segura thing, I genuinely believe was just a joke.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe it was just like found this thread and we're going to tug at it and it's funny and blah, blah, blah. And I say this as a fan of Tom Segura, but he's kind of gotten a little arrogant over time to where he kind of pushes a narrative in a way that's like, it stops being funny after a while, you know? He's still a great comedian. He's still funny. I think Bad Thoughts was a great show. But it's kind of like his celebrity has pushed him to the point where it's no longer a joke. Now it feels like bullying. It feels like he's just being a dick for no reason, when he could just come out and be like, I was just joking about the Garth Brooks thing. But it took on a life of its own, and he's just owning it.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. But Matthew Cox is a fucking con artist.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
And that takes away so much credibility with me. I mean, him and Pierre were cellies in prison, but Matthew Cox himself was a really shitty person.
Yeah.
Like, I think I sent you a clip the other day about him stealing identities of homeless people. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And there was another thing about him counterfeiting money, and this is a guy who will do everything but get a normal job. So he's willing to perpetuate absolute horseshit to write a book, to make that book sell, to make $1.
Yeah.
Which, hey, man, everybody's got to make their bread, but doing it as in the most dishonest ways possible shows a lot of poor character. And therefore, a lot of what you say just doesn't mean shit to me.
Yeah. And I could see, like, even doing that, like, you could have gone a different direction of just writing a book that was based off of this idea that is being perpetuated, but not even making it about an actual person. And it probably would be more well accepted as like a fiction novel of like this country singer who's also a murderer.
I agree.
Might be just like a a fiction novel that you got the idea from a joke that is being passed around. Would probably still get the same traction with that crowd of like, oh, they're referring to Garth Brooks, but like using just a made up name, and then you could take it in any direction that you want to, but like to take something that is obviously started as a joke and then turn it into trying to paint this person as being something that they probably are not, does seem very disingenuous and stupid.
Shameless, one might say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got one in.
Yeah, got one. So yeah, I didn't know that about him, and I watched that podcast, and like the whole podcast, it seemed like he was trying to convince the guy that was hosting the podcast that it was all real, and it was like, and the whole time I was just like, dude, all this shit doesn't make sense when you talk about it in this, like, if you're not looking at anything else and you just look at this one thing, then yeah, I mean, it's a coincidence for sure, but like there's so many other factors that go into it that you have to look at in talking about murders and fucking calling somebody a serial killer.
Yeah, that was a problem I had with it, because for one, all of this information he's collected, he passes it off as a fact.
Yeah.
By saying around XYZ tour date, there is a heightened amount of disappearances, and it's Garth Brooks killing these people. Like, okay, you took a fact and then you threw a theory on top of it and presented it as one fact, and then the guy who's doing the podcast is like just gobbling it up.
Yeah.
He's offering no resistance to it whatsoever, instead of saying like, that's speculative, those things line up, but that doesn't mean it's this.
Yeah.
Instead, he's just like, yep, he's a killer.
Yep.
Killer, all right. 200 bodies. Where are the bodies, Garth? And it's like, the first kind of like quarter of listening to that, I was intrigued. Like, all right, let's hear what this guy's got. And then by the end of it, I was like, thank fucking God that's over.
Yeah.
That was painful to listen to. But yeah, I like the idea of he could have taken that, like you said, and written a fiction book. Because even then, you could present that to Garth like, hey, we can make a movie out of this.
Yeah.
Do you want to play this? He'd be like, oh, absolutely. Like in that one interview.
Then you can get Garth in on the joke.
Yeah. And now you wouldn't be slandering this fucking super high country star and making yourself look like a jackass. Instead, you just become a fiction writer.
Yeah.
Instead of a fiction writer who thinks he's writing the truth.
Yeah.
I don't even believe he thinks it's true. I think he's just sold himself on selling it.
Yeah.
Which is even more fucked up when you think about it.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, people like that who have lived their entire lives on, like, trying to con other people and then presenting something that they're saying is fact, and it's like, no, you're just trying to con me again, like...
Yeah. You're just trying to get me to buy your book.
Yeah.
Which I did not buy. I pirated it, by the way.
Good deal.
I was not about to give that guy $1.
Yeah, I think I was listening to that while I was at the gym one day, and then I went outside and was cutting my lawn listening to it, and then like I went inside and it still wasn't over, and I was just like, I've gotten enough that I need out of this. Like,
yeah.
That was before I even knew his back history, and then when he sent me that, I was kind of looking into it like, this guy's a fucking shyster, man.
Well, my mom presented it to me first, because at the time I was like balls deep in, okay, Garth Brooks is a serial killer, let's look at it. And then she's talking to me about it, and she's like, this guy's a fucking con artist. And I hadn't looked at it from that perspective up till that point. I was still in like, I'm looking at fucking FBI files and shit online. I was going deep in the rabbit hole on this.
Yeah.
And then when she presented that, I was like, I better look into this.
Yeah, I mean, even going along with the roadie thing, like now that the theory is out there that he is a serial killer, could it be fans now that are taking the opportunity to know where he's going to be and where he's going to be at, and that people are looking at him and then just committing murders?
I think with the light being cast on him, you can be in the shadows.
Yeah.
Which, perfect credence. You know, again, people coming in from out of town. Like, oh, Garth Brooks is going to be in Salt Lake on such and such date. Let me get my fucking Dexter kit going.
Yeah. We could write a book about an author who wrote a book about somebody being a serial killer who is actually the serial killer.
Ooh. And then we'll just say it was him.
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan at the end. It was like, it was actually Matt.
It was Matt the whole time. It was actually Pierre.
Pierre. Lucky Pierre.
Lucky Pierre. A thing I really had a problem with was the way they would try to tie facts of Garth's life into him being a serial killer. The one that really bugged me was at the time when he divorced his first wife, she got this massive settlement, and it was like a no contest, whatever you want.
Yeah. And
signed it over. And it was like, I can't remember the number adjusted for inflation, but at the time it was like $100+ million, which, you know, at that time was a shitload of money. Now it's like $5. But you try to conflate that into maybe his first wife, Sandy, knows a lot, so he just paid her whatever she wanted to keep her mouth shut. It's like, I don't think that's the truth. I think what really happened was he was cheating on his wife with Trisha Yearwood, decided he wanted to split and go be with Trisha, and his guilty conscience and his shame was like, you deserve this money.
Yeah.
For sticking by me and helping me get up there, and now I'm doing you wrong. I'm going to make it right in some way.
Yeah. Well, didn't she help him write a lot of the songs too, though?
I believe so.
So, I mean, I would understand, like, especially from him, you have to understand that Garth Brooks is I think the highest selling male artist of all time.
Yeah, that's over Michael Jackson and Elvis.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, $100 million to somebody like that who owns his own catalog is fucking nothing. He's going to make $100 million this year without even going on tour.
Yeah.
In just royalties.
Well, just owning your own catalog of music is huge in the music world.
Yeah.
Like Metallica didn't even do that until like 2013 or something.
Yeah.
And they had to buy it. And they almost went bankrupt buying it because it was such a huge catalog and it cost so much money.
Yeah, probably 90% of artists out there today don't own their own music. Like,
no.
LL Cool J just barely finished his contract like 2 years ago. He doesn't own any of his records that he made.
Yeah, nothing.
Now he's putting out independent records, but he's like fucking 60 years old being a rapper. Like,
yeah, looks great for his age.
Yeah,
Holy shit. And he's actually a really good rapper.
Yeah.
It's surprising. Like, Michael Jackson was known for buying catalogs of music, but he had like fuck you money.
Yeah, I think that he bought some of the Beatles fucking...
Yeah, I think he bought the whole Beatles catalog.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. Like, they were worth so much money in the 60s.
Yeah.
Which is crazy considering how overrated they are.
Ooh.
I said that shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm not taking it back.
I don't disagree. I'll be the first to admit that I've never really been a Beatles fan.
I've tried. I tried listening to like their hits, and yeah, there's a couple of bangers in there, but for the most part, it's just like, I guess you had to be there at the time.
Yeah.
I just can't connect with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so turning his divorce into a fact that he's a serial killer is pretty fucking low character.
Yeah.
In my book. And that's coming from a guy who wrote a book with a cellmate. You know, talk about having friends in low places.
Right. Nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Yeah, and there have been allegations where, like, he had a personal assistant that he was getting weird with, and, like, she sued him for some money. And
oh, the hairdresser?
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole grape allegation?
Yeah.
I looked into that, too. That's a money grab.
Yeah.
I don't think he did that. Were they being intimate? 100%. Did he assault her? No.
Yeah, I think that probably the things that she said that he did, he probably did, but I think that it was more in a capacity that they were already having...
They were fucking.
Intercourse with each other.
They were fucking.
Because that's pretty bold. I don't know. For me, anyways, that seems really bold to do some of the things that she claims that he did.
I think it's pretty telling that you claim these things happen and then you continue to work for him for 5 more years.
Yeah.
And there's no police investigation. There's no nothing. You just come out of nowhere and decide to file a civil lawsuit, which you're trying to reach a settlement for.
Mm-hmm.
And I know victims of assault, you know, they don't always behave based on logic. It's a fact. You know, it's a very difficult thing to go through, I'm sure. And people who are victims don't always do the thing that you think they should do because they're traumatized.
Yeah.
But in this case, I don't think that is the case. I really think it was just like they were bumping uglies. At some point, she was probably like, you need to leave your wife and marry me instead. And he said no. And then she's like, all right.
Yeah, well, why would I do that? I just get a new hairdresser.
I'm Garth fucking Brooks,
Yeah.
man.
Like, how much hair do I even have for you to dress?
Not that much. I've seen you without a hat. I mean, granted, he's probably been rubbing some rosemary oil on that. He looks better than he did 20 years ago.
Yeah. From here up, anyways. From here down, it's still pretty surprising.
Speaking of conflating stupid shit, that one interview he did where they were asking him about being in a movie or being the hero, and he's like, I'd rather be the bad guy. I think killing somebody would be fun. And he just has that look.
Yeah.
I can see why you would try to conflate that, but it's just him being weird.
Yeah, him being weird, but, like, also, I mean, I would probably do that if I said that. Like, yes, being the villain in a movie would be fun. It would be, like, you want to be, like, playing the victim in the movie, or do you want to be, like, the villain? The villain seems like a funner role to play.
If I was in movies, I'd rather be the villain.
Yeah, because you can get fucking crazy with it, especially with him being this seen in this light of, like, being the super nice guy. And for him, if you're trying to be an actor, being a villain and completely going opposite of what you're known for being might be more intriguing than playing the same character that you're already seen as. Like,
yeah, especially from my perspective is, who's a better actor? I'm going to ask you this. Who's a better actor, Dwayne Johnson or Heath Ledger?
Dwayne Johnson, because he's been in more movies. That's why he's a better actor.
Hard to argue with that logic.
Heath Ledger, for sure.
So that's the point, though, is that The Rock always plays the good guy over and over and over, and it's tired and it's hackneyed. Heath Ledger branched out and tried all kinds of different shit, and his most famous role was the villain as the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
He's a way better actor because he didn't want to get pigeonholed into playing the hero role over and over and over.
Right.
So I look at that and I go, I would rather play the villain because, like you said, you can get crazy with it. You can be creative. You don't have to operate within the borders or boundaries of being altruistic hero or even anti-hero. You're the villain. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
So that, if I was an actor, I'd much rather do that.
Right.
So I get his perspective on it, but it's the way it comes off with him is just his weird.
Yeah.
I'd rather kill somebody.
Maybe he gave the crazy eyes to, like, show that he can be weird and crazy, like...
That makes sense, too.
Yeah. Like, I'd rather kill somebody. I can do it, see? Look at my eyes, they're crazy. See how weird and off-putting this is? I'm not even acting right now, either.
I get it. I'd play the villain, too.
Yeah.
And then he did play the villain. He played Chris Gaines. Killed Garth Brooks' career for a while.
Ooh. Murder of $1 million.
Yep. Just took that ledger and made some red strokes.
Red stroke.
I don't know that song, but...
That's a good one.
Again, I'm not as well versed in the lyrical genius of Garth Brooks.
And his ghostwriters.
And his ghostwriters, yes.
Because let's face facts, he doesn't write all those fucking songs.
No. I would be kind of interested to see what the percentage of artists that actually write all their own songs is.
Especially the big ones.
Yeah.
I believe somebody like Prince probably wrote the vast majority of his own music, but somebody like Garth Brooks or Elvis or Michael Jackson, you know, the big ones, they don't write all their own shit.
Well, even Prince didn't even own his music.
No.
That's why he changed his name to fucking...
The artist formerly known as Prince.
Formerly known, so he could start a new fucking thing to own his own shit.
Yeah, the record label was fucking him over.
Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry, it's a good thing that things like Napster and Spotify came around and really broke the music industry, because they were just stealing from artists.
Yeah.
It's like Sean Morgan from Seether was talking about. They got signed to a record contract and they had to make 3 records. And by the time they were done with their second record and they finished the tour, they were supposed to go into the studio for the third one, but they owed the studio $3 million.
Yeah.
Because touring is expensive. So it's like, yeah, I'm glad that shit's done.
Yeah.
Look at the movie Straight Outta Compton, the way they got fucked over. Like, record labels for a long time were just thieves.
Yeah, yeah.
They weren't trying to promote art and music, they were trying to just make money.
Make money. And it was like artists were getting paid like, it was something like 19 cents for every album that was sold at like $15 a piece, and so they're making 19 cents off an album and the company's making fucking $15.
Yeah. Bullshit.
For every album. Yeah.
Or like it was either the late 90s or early 2000s, there was like some controversy with TLC filing bankruptcy. Well, it's like they had to pay for the tour, they had to pay all the people, the roadies, the dancers, pay for the venues, everything else. And by the time they paid for that, they were in the hole.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of poor spending habits, it's because of how expensive it is to go on tour.
Yeah, I think that T-Boz, the blonde one, was talking about like they had just sold, like they'd gone platinum or something like that with the Waterfalls album, and it won like all these awards and was like selling millions and millions of copies of records. Like each one of them got paid like $60,000.
Yeah.
For the thing.
Which even in 1997 money is like, it's basically $100,000 now.
Yeah.
Which is not really that much.
Yeah. Especially if you're selling millions of dollars worth of fucking records. But yeah, they had to claim bankruptcy because they fucking couldn't pay back the loans that they took from the fucking record company to do their tours.
Yeah, it's like, did you ever listen to Jewel Kilcher? She did an episode on Joe Rogan. Where, you remember Jewel?
Yeah.
So, she was pretty smart, and even though she was like poor and homeless, she knew some lawyers, and when she got her contract, she just like took it to them, and as a favor they looked it over, and they were like, don't sign this. And she ended up not signing it. Instead, what she did was she made a deal to get like a small advance and then a per diem until everything washed out with creating her record and her tour. And then after is when they like negotiated how much money she got, and she got a shitload of money because she didn't take anything up front.
Smart.
It was smart.
Smart. Wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
Yeah. Garth Brooks, on the other hand, him owning all of his own music and fucking... He could definitely afford to pay his ex-wife whatever the fuck she wanted, pretty much.
Well, if I was him, I would have done a one-and-done settlement, too.
Yeah.
Especially knowing the things he did.
Yeah.
Like, I would have felt extreme guilt and shame. Like, yeah, I'll give you half.
Yeah.
Uncontested.
Yeah. It's not like he's not going to make it back.
Yeah. He's doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't make shit off of that Chris Gaines album, but the rest, he's still making royalties.
I wonder how much money if he lost money on that, or if he did actually make a little bit of money.
I'm sure he made something. I think it was just a big enough departure that people were curious. I don't have any actual figures. I'm just assuming, but
I do think it would be kind of funny to bring back interest in Chris Gaines and like try to pump it up and like make that super popular. Just Chris Gaines being like a great album.
I think if I was Garth Brooks, I'd be like, I'd rather you guys say I'm a serial killer.
Actually, no, all the bodies are in the basement.
Yeah, you can go take a look. Just stop talking about Chris Gaines. No, I watched a video, a bunch of country artists were talking about it, and he owns it, man. He's just like, yep, I made that record, and I did all that stuff, and it happened.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah, you can't just be like, I regret all that. Just be like, yeah, I did it. Didn't pan out, but...
Yeah. To me, I didn't even know about the movie or anything. I just saw it when it came out. I just thought it was an artist trying to do something different or try a different thing. Like, you see it nowadays a lot with artists who become super successful in one genre and then they kind of switch over to, like, Post Malone.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty comparable to that, but he's been a little more successful with it, I guess.
I think some artists can make good successful transitions, like Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Went into acting, or like John Cena went from wrestling to acting. The hard ones I deal with is sometimes actors become musicians. Like when The Rock dropped his rap song and it sucks.
What?
You never heard that?
No. First time I ever heard him do anything musical was with Moana.
So he's actually good in Moana. Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
But his rap song it's like you take everything about The Rock's persona at the time, about like hard work and perseverance and blah blah blah, all a great message, but then he puts it into a rap song.
It's like alpha male rap.
It's definitely alpha male rap. It's like, I'm sure Wes Watson listens to it and fucking beats his dick super hard. You know what I'm saying? But it's like some artists can make that transition, some can. I think MGK sucks at everything. I cannot fucking stand that guy. Every time I see him, like on social media or whatever, I'm like, God, just go past. He's so bad. I think that's where Garth dropped the ball, was trying to make that transition from actor to movie star, because he was offered a role in Saving Private Ryan and he was offered a role in Twister. I think if he had taken both of those, he could have really changed his own career trajectory.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't put out a whole lot of new music post 2000-ish. Like, he could have really worked himself into acting and just like taken off in a different direction.
Yeah.
But he didn't take those roles. He took the Chris Gaines role that never panned out, did the Chris Gaines album, which super didn't pan out, and then he tried to fucking play professional baseball.
A few times. And the dude's
like fucking 38 at the time. Like,
Yeah.
you're past your prime. It was like, I couldn't go play professional baseball right now. I'm too old.
Yeah.
So I think he's had some missteps. But again, trying to conflate that into him being a serial killer was a fucking stretch.
Yeah.
Like, he's so mad because he didn't get to play professional baseball. He started killing people. What? Fucking retarded?
I think that Garth, if he wanted to, probably could still transition into acting now. Like, just start taking small roles in little movies, and then, like, even just, like, cameos to start with, and then, like, as he starts getting recognized for being in movies, then you can take bigger roles.
I think so. Maybe it's a little bit too late now. I really feel like catching the momentum of those huge movies like Twister and Saving Private Ryan, that would have put him on the map.
Yeah.
Because, do you remember Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
So nobody says specifically what role it is, but I think it's for the Tom Sizemore character.
Oh, okay.
He's like the second in command of that Ranger platoon.
He, like, collects the sand, or...
Yeah, the dirt.
Yeah.
That would have been a great role for him. I think he could have nailed it. Or in Twister, I imagine it was the main character, Bill Paxton's role. But even then, like, you're the star, show your chops.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes just a little bit.
It's going to be windy.
Don't Seagal it.
Yeah. Actually, put these sunglasses on. It's going to be windy.
Yeah. Just the whole movie's got sunglasses on. How are those not blowing off? I don't know, man.
Well, I've got this tether on the back. But yeah, even though it was like a funny joke, had a little bit of like, I think you can do that with fucking any major star. Probably you can see their tour dates and then find missing people that went in that area, and like you could probably do that with just about any big star.
I agree.
Fun thing to look at. There's a lot of wild shit on Reddit, for sure.
It's a fucking full ass rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's a reverse tree. There's branches that go everywhere. And one thing I forgot to bring up was shortly after Tom Segura started the Garth Brooks thing, somebody had started the Tom Segura is the Ladybird Killer thing, which I haven't delved super deep into. I just saw like a short clip of it, but it was like, what if Tom Segura is perpetuating this Garth Brooks thing to deflect from him being the killer?
Just as plausible.
Just as plausible. Him and Bert Kreischer are just laughing maniacally while they're murdering people.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever seen fucking Bert Kreischer? I don't know. I have a hard time with him.
I gotta give the guy credit. He has made a lucrative living out of being your fun drinking buddy.
Yeah, true.
But he's also your fun drinking buddy that sometimes you don't invite because you just want a chill night out.
Yeah. I think that's exactly like the problem that I have with him. I'm old enough now that I'm just like, I don't want to hang out with that guy anymore.
Yeah, I'm in that transition period where it's like, I want to see this guy 3 or 4 times a year, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
I saw his stand-up show a couple of years ago, and I was always a bigger fan of Tom Segura than Bert Kreischer because they're a pair now. You can't think of one without the other. And I remember like watching the opening acts and going, this is actually better than Bert Kreischer's bit. And I remember watching his bit, and he had some really good funny jokes. And then other parts, it's like, these aren't actually jokes. He's just telling stories that on the whole aren't that funny, but he tells them in a funny way.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's a bad comedian. I just think that they're better.
Yeah, I watched he had some show on, like, it was either Hulu or Netflix, and it was like 6 or 7 episodes, and it was supposed to be about him going on a retreat to this cabin in the middle of the woods. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Fucking weird show.
It was weird.
And it was like, I don't know, it just seemed like he was trying to create funny moments that were just more of a like visual spectacle to be like, oh, that's funny, but it really wasn't that funny.
Did you see The Machine, the movie? It's based on his bit, The Machine, about when he was in college. And I remember watching the movie, and I think I laughed like 3 or 4 times. This is supposed to be a comedy movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just like, I've heard this stand-up bit about 947 times, so I already know what's going to happen, and it's kind of a movie by numbers thing. So it's just like, I get it, make your empire. If you're getting paid, do your thing. I just don't think I'm going to pay.
Yeah. I do think that Bert, like you said, is kind of goes hand in hand with Tom Segura, and I think he does that well, of being like adjacent to the main character or adjacent to the fucking main thing that's going on, and just be like, something happened over here, and you look over and that's fucking hilarious over here, and then go back to the main story.
Yeah. So speaking of the Tom Segura thing, this is the moment when I knew I didn't buy into the Garth Brooks serial killer thing, was the not Garth Brooks part of Bad Thoughts.
Ugh.
Where he's playing like the role of Garth Brooks, but it's so over the top and ridiculous that it's just like, okay, this is plainly just a joke.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say is the worst of the skits on that show. Not to say it's not funny, it's just not. It didn't get
as funny as
I
the
didn't
rest.
get it.
Yeah. So I didn't even. So I knew who he was supposed to be, but at the time I still hadn't heard that fucking theory about him being a serial killer. So I was just like, oh, he's doing a bit based off of Garth Brooks being a fucking psychopath. And then when you brought up the serial killer thing, I was like, oh shit, that's exactly what he was doing.
It lands.
Yeah. So I didn't really get it at the time. I thought it was funny, but like a funny concept, but like I didn't understand it.
It's funny the way that Tom Segura can like turn everybody against somebody. Like with the Steven Seagal, started as a bit in his stand-up, and then he did the bit of Steven Seagal in Bad Thoughts,
which was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, hilarious!
Yeah.
But we know for a fact that Steven Seagal is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
We don't know Garth Brooks is a piece of shit, and that's where I think you kind of lost me on that one.
Yeah.
Still a fucking hilarious show, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't wait for the next fucking season. I'm sure they're gonna have another one.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. So yeah, I think we solved it, man. Garth Brooks is not a serial killer.
Fortunately, probably both, I guess, depending on what side you're on. Not a serial killer.
Not a serial killer.
Roadie, maybe.
Fan?
Possibly.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Author?
Wait a minute. What if we got it all wrong? What if it's his wife, Trisha Yearwood, that's the serial killer?
Or his first wife, that's why he divorced her.
Oh, maybe she's still bitter about being cheated on, so she's following him to shows and killing all these people and making it look like him.
We should get a book deal.
We should get a book deal. I hope that Matt guy doesn't hear this first. He'll probably write a book about
it.
He's like, Sandy is the killer.
Yeah.
If that happens, you heard it here first. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The Sandy Brooks killer.
The Sandy Brooks killer.
Not Sandy Hook.
That rolls off the tongue, though.
Yeah.
Sandy Brooks.
It's already in the...
Killer extraordinaire.
I've heard of that. Sandy Brooks killer.
Yeah. Killed like 200-some people.
Yeah. They're all buried in the basement under a mansion.
Yeah. But she secretly dug that tunnel. Took her like 20 years.
That's what she did with... What else are you going to do with $100 million?
You could buy some pretty good excavation equipment with $100 million.
And a personal plane.
And a personal plane.
Solved it.
Solved it, dude. Sandy's the killer.
Fucking pulling out the fucking solve in the last, 2 minutes of the episode. Boom.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's solved.
Yeah, we started by just basically going right off the bat and saying it's not true. And then just right there at the end, just as we cross the finish line.
M. Night Shyamalan, that shit. Guess what? It is true, but...
Plot twist.
Plot twist. Yep.
So, yep, solved it. Sandy's a killer. Garth Brooks isn't.
She sees dead people.
She's a lot of them. Around 200.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll call it there. Doctor?
Doctor.
Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Until next time.
And fuck off, okay?